Good morning, fruit enthusiasts. Here we have a Shangri mulberry, pretty tall. This one's been in the ground for about 2.5 years now. We're going to talk pruning and do a little video here, a little demonstration. I'm going to prune this one up. I'm actually going to take the cuttings off this one and root them out to grow out into more trees. Mulberries are super easy to root out. Different varieties of mulberry behave differently for said aspect. So this one I haven't had a whole lot of luck with, but I have had some luck. We're going to go over this here. I might get to a couple other trees. You see, I got Beverly Hills apple there, Liberty. I've got some more stuff. I've got a bunch of stuff over here. Anyways, focus today, Shangri mulberry. You see this tree's pretty sizable. Kind of got a multi-trunk thing going on here. And for now I'm going to leave that, but I am going to get rid of some of these crisscrossing, touching branches here. Okay, first things first, important things with pruning. Pruners, obviously. Those are sitting in rubbing alcohol. That's 91% rubbing alcohol. Important that you have clean, sharp cutters. Very important. If I get these things to sit somewhere here. Sorry, excuse me here for a second. This cup does not want to balance. Okay, a rag, clean rag. Clean cutters, clean rag. Okay, let's start with these big ones here. Usually when I do videos I just walk around and I'm talking about trees, whatnot as I walk around. So actually showing something here a little different. You know, I might show you what I'm going to cut, stop the video, do the cuts and come back to it here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So, this tree here is I have like a narrow little pathway here. You can see the branches are crowding other trees. They're in my way here. It's hard to get around. This tree is pretty much dormant. There's like 2 or 3 leaves left on it here, and they're about to come off. Anyways, a couple yellow ones there. So first I'm going to clean up. I'm going to start kind of at the bottom here. In this particular tree, I don't mind it being tall. It's okay. So I'm not really going to do a whole lot for the height. But I am going to clear out a lot of these branches in here. Mainly some of the bigger ones, crisscrossing stuff. Generally when you're doing pruning, that's what you want to do. You want to cut out crowding branches, crisscrossing branches, things that are too close together, things that are in your way, anything that's dead. There's no dead branches on this particular tree here. But I'm going to clean this thing up. I want to clear up some room here. So I'm gonna pause the video right now. I'm gonna make some cuts and then I'm gonna get back to it and explain what I'm doing here. So hold on. Okay. Cleaned it up. Pile of cuttings. Let's see here. See, cuts. Now this is not necessarily the best way to trim a tree. You know, sometimes you want to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more skillful with stuff, but it's a mulberry. Mulberries don't care. These things practically are weeds. This particular one's been in the ground for a while, so it'll take a little bit of hacking up and tolerate it. Like I said, I wanted to clear some more space so I can get through here. Now I'm not fighting branches where I'm standing right now anymore. Like I said, I cleared out some of the crisscrossing branches, stuff that was touching. You see right there, I took a big cut. Branch was literally, you can see the mark on the other piece of the tree there where they were touching. They were starting to grow in together. I'm gonna point this out. That's a little bit of a flatter cut there. Ideally, they say, you know, you don't want to do stuff like that. Here, I'll show you a cut here. This is an angled one I did last year, 2 years ago. I forget when was the last time I pruned this. Something you can see from here, okay, so I made this cut right here, and then you see this branch grew out here. So, something to point out, like, for example, this guy right here. So I made that cut, and then this branch is already growing out. So now this branch right here is going to become the leader from that one, and then this will grow out right here and go off this way or whatever. That's another thing with mulberries too, is they might start growing one direction, but they're going to change it up on you. It's mulberry, and you can see how some of these branches are kind of weeping crisscross. They change direction repeatedly. This taller branch up here is a great one. It started leaning over. There's a big one that shoots up, another big one that shoots up. This one kind of comes off and goes down. They're kind of all cattywampus, for lack of a better term. That's how mulberries, that's how they are. I just want to show that real quick. So next to it, this Beverly Hills apple. This thing needs some attention too. It's got some crisscrossing branches. You can see down there stuff growing out of the ground. That's rootstock. We want to get rid of all that. That Liberty apple over there, same thing. It's got the rootstock growing. This castor here needs to be cut or removed even. There's an apple there. That's a pink pearl apple. I don't think I'm going to prune that one at all, except for maybe trim off some of that dead fruit and whatnot. Over here, this one's leaning over. This is a, I think this is a Whitney crabapple that's leaning. That one's going to need to be pruned and staked. Desert Gold Peach needs a heavy pruning. We'll use this Tri-Lite Peach Plum here for an example. I'm not going to do any pruning on it right now, but I just wanted to kind of show you a good example. So you see the angle there on that, how close those branches are together and how crowded it is. This whole branch right here, take that whole thing off. Though it's growing above the graft and it is fruiting woodstock here, it looks like there's a bunch of flower buds on it too. Nice healthy looking stuff. That'd be good for the scion exchange. Really I could keep that and cut the whole rest of the other part of the tree down because it looks better. And I might. We'll see. We'll see what I do here. But anyways, those two branches, those are too close together. They're crowded. One of those needs to go. Another quick example here I'm going to show you just because I happen to notice it. I got this citrus, Sanguinelli blood orange. Notice the big tall branch there. Let me show you something here. Show you a good one here. So you notice this leaf. You see the leaf shape there. It doesn't really have the lobe to it. Now you notice this one. You see how it has that lobe down lower. Also, you see the thorns. Look at the size of these things. They're huge. They're toothpicks. And how this one branch here just grows straight up. That's rootstock. Citrus loves to do that. And I think that's, let me see here. That might even be growing. Nope, let me see. That might be growing. Yep, that's, you see down in there, it's hard to tell. That's actually below the graft line. That's the same branch. So that's a sucker. That's rootstock growing there. This is on sour orange rootstock. And that's one of the reasons I actually don't like sour orange, because the rootstock is so notorious for being so vigorous that it does that. The rootstock always wants to take over the fruiting budstock. So that needs to be trimmed back. Important though is I'm leaving that for right now because it's winter. You don't want to cut any of your citrus back in the winter time because it needs that frost protection. Even though that's an undesirable branch, that's frost protection. You need that right now. Hopefully if this thing gets hit with frost anymore, it's been holding up pretty good, but if it does get frosted again, you'd like it to frost that branch, and that one's gonna take the hit rather than the fruiting budwood. Okay, a couple other things out here. Granny Smith apple needs to be trimmed up again. Golden Delicious apple really needs to be trimmed. It's got lots of crowding going on in there, lots of problems. It's a good tree, but it's having a lot of issues with the way the branch structure is on it and whatnot. So I'll get to that later. I might do another video on that later on. I think the next time I do a pruning video, I'm gonna have to have somebody help me. That's all I'm gonna do for today, all right? I hear a baby crying, I gotta go. You guys have a good Saturday.